Well, again, back on YouTube. This is a quick video, man. Not gonna lie, I'm pretty unsettled. Just did some research. Found out in New York. I don't know what the heck is wrong with these people in New York. Have no idea. First, you give us Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and then you pass a bill that pretty much tells women it's okay to abort a baby pretty much at birth. And I know I'm gonna hear a lot of people say, no, it's technically it's before the baby is born and all this nonsense, when it's pretty much saying as long as that baby's in the womb, as long as it's in there, it's fair game. Fair game. Now I know the topic of abortion is a touchy topic, but we need to discuss this. We need to have this conversation. Point blank, period. Again, I don't really do YouTube videos that often. I've only done one. But let's get down to it. Abortion. There's a lot of arguments out there. What if the woman is raped? You don't know how inconvenience it is, how much of an inconvenience it is to bear a child when you're not ready and all of this stuff. So let's throw some stats out there. Less than 2% of all abortion cases are rape cases. Less than 2%. Basically, let's round it up to 2%. 98% of abortion cases is simply the woman doesn't want to raise a kid. Yeah, doesn't want to raise a kid. She feels burdened. It's taxing on her emotions. It's taxing on this, that, and the third. Where do we draw a line? Where do you draw the line? So this is something that's not talked about. No one teaches this. No one preaches on this in the church. We get too caught up in trying to argue points instead of actually just rationally thinking and looking at things as they are. Let me make sure my truck don't shut off on me. Alrighty. Here's what I want you guys to think about. Let's talk about it from this perspective. If you're watching this video, here's what I want you to think about. I want you to think about everybody you know. And you can think about this whether you are pro-life or pro-choice. I want everyone to think about this. I want to think about all the people you know, all the positive impacts, because I'm pretty sure if you're alive, even if you're a horrible individual, you've done something good for somebody in this life since you've been on earth. There's not one person on this planet that is pure evil. And even if so, it's not up to us to make the decision whether that person lives or dies or not, right? Okay? So I want you to think about this. I want you to think about every person you've had a positive impact on. I want you to think about every person's life that you've touched. I even want you to think about a person that may have been on the edge, may have been right there on the threshold, right there on the fence of ending it all, killing themselves, doing something bad or harming someone else. And I want you to think about how you made a difference to keep that person from doing something totally stupid, which could be killing themselves or killing other people or harming other people. And I want you to think about you being the difference, being the reason that they didn't do something totally crazy and arrogant. I even want you to think about the small impacts you've had on people's lives. How just maybe a smile, a hello, how you doing, made a simple difference. Just the small little simplest things that make a difference. I want you to think about that. I also want you to think about all the major people out there that have huge platforms, huge followings on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and all of social media, and how this person may have had an impact on your life and the lives of others. Think about these people and how they may have changed your life for the better. May have pulled you out of a dark place. I want you to think about that. Really let that sink in for a second. I even want you to think about Barack Obama, despite how you feel about him, love him or hate him. I want you to think about the difference it really made in America for America to have came from a racist history, pure racist, where black folks were worth 1/3 of a person. For us to come as far as we came to elect the first black president. I want you to think about even the LGBT community. Where would the LGBT community be today without Barack Obama? Would gay marriage have ever been passed? Who knows? I want you guys to think about that. Think about the difference it made in the world. After you let that sink in for a second, I want you to think about how different would your life be? Or how different would someone else's life be had you never been born, or the people that had a positive influence on your life never been born, nor the millions of people that they touch had they never been born. And I want you to think about that. After you think about that and really let it sink in for a second, really let it sink in. Once you've done that, you tell me if you still support abortion. Once you've truly done that, once you've truly sit down and actually thought about it, really pondered on it. And you tell me if you still support abortion. If so, you a fool, in my opinion. Or matter of fact, I take that back. I'm no one to just call you a fool. I've done foolish stuff where in my life where someone could say, hey man, you a fool, and deem me as a fool forever. So I won't call you a fool. I'll just say, forgive them, Lord, they know not what they do. You have no idea how precious you are, how valuable you are, and what you're worth. Zero. No identity. You don't know who you are nor whose you are. You have zero clue. Because human life is essentially worthless to you. Here's another thought. Here's something else as food for thought that I want you guys to think about. I'm sorry, man. This gets kind of emotional for me. I want you to think about the children that were aborted. And I want you to think about 1,000 problems that you see in the world. And think about the difference that life that was aborted could have made had they been here. Everybody complains about problems. We all do. Especially in the black community. We see 1,000 problems. And everybody's really good at pointing out the problem, but not coming up with answers, because no one has no answers, right? What if that child was the answer? That we aborted because we selfishly felt inconvenienced, we felt burdened. What if that baby was the answer? What if we're aborting the solutions to our problems? Yeah, maybe you were raped. Ain't nobody asked you to raise the child. You know how many parents out here would love to have children but can't? Either the man's sperm count, his sperm count is real low, so he's shooting blanks, or the woman's womb is barren and she wants to have a child but she can't because her womb is messed up. They love to raise that child. And please don't give me this nonsense about, so what are we going to do? A bunch of unwanted babies flooding the system? There's not enough babies in the system for adoption. All that tax money that we sit there and use on stupid stuff, that would actually be a good cause to use the tax money to help at least give them a chance at life. Yeah, who knows? Maybe a rape baby could be the difference maker in the field of rape. Who knows? I know that kind of sounded weird. I'm just kind of speaking from the heart. But maybe they could be the reason that rape no longer exists. Maybe they could come up with a permanent solution to the problem that would make any person, male or female, be scared to rape a child or scared to rape anybody. Maybe they could be the difference maker because they learned their history. Man, my mom was raped, so therefore she didn't want to raise me. And my dad was sick because somebody had touched him. I'm going to do something to change that. Black community, I want you to think for a second. Because I'm black, I know, because I'm a conservative, I'm a Christian. I don't go along with the popular narrative that we're all victims of white supremacy and that we can't get ahead because we're black. And I want you to think about this for a quick second. We're going to take the black on black crime rate out of it. Let's just talk about this other negative statistic that our community leads in, which is abortion. And you think about that, you've been here just as long as white folks have. You helped build this country with our founding fathers, even though some of us were slaves. Not all black people that were in America were slaves. There were black slave owners in America. So please miss me with that garbage. If you're going to talk about history, read the whole thing. That's what I want you to think about. Read all of it. Don't just talk about something or just one thing. Cover the whole thing. Cover the whole spectrum. You've been here just as long as they have. Why the heck are you still 13% of the population? Why? If you get rid of the 20 million abortions we've had over time, I think the number's higher now, but 40% of the abortions out there that we're leading in, which is exceptionally higher than every other community in this country, I want you to think about what percentage of the population you would be had we not aborted our children. And it's funny, people are real big on that 13% of the population of getting our vote versus both Democrats and Republicans, right? That 13% is very important. Could you imagine if you were 36% of the population because you wasn't killing yourselves or killing your children? Could you imagine if you were 36% of the population? Imagine how much more so would you have power to change your conditions. Maybe that 40% of abortions, maybe those 20 million black babies that were aborted here in America, which is democide, makes the Jewish Holocaust look like a walk in the park. Maybe they were the answer to fix your solutions. Well, I didn't spun that all the way up. Maybe they were the solution to your problem. Try not to let my emotions take over. Maybe they were. Maybe those were the difference makers. You never know because they're not born. I'm going to make some more videos, Doc, because we got to talk about this. I can't just sit idly by and not say anything. But I'm going to leave you with that. I want y'all to think about that. Stop thinking about the selfish stupidity that you use as reasons to get abortions and actually think about the value of human life. Think about this before you leave. I'm going to leave you with this. Every human being on this planet is a world. Because we're all connected. And when you kill or you murder someone, you kill what they were, who they are, and anything they ever will be. Any hopes and dreams, anything that they would have done stops at death. Any purpose that Christ has for that human being never gets fulfilled because they're dead. They don't exist. Every human being is a world, people. And in that world is connected to billions of people. Billions, not just millions. Because see, you're going to have people pass away, right? And then you're going to have people live on. They're all still individual people. Think about legacies. Think about your great-great-great-great-grandparents. Especially men, think about your last name. Think about your sons. Think about your daughters. Think about the people that are going to carry your legacy from here on to the end of time. and then you tell me if you still support abortion. Like, share, and subscribe if you agree or if you disagree. And all that fun stuff. Y'all be blessed. Yeah, in Jesus' name. Love you. Peace.